Hello again, everybody, and welcome back. This is video 2 of the 4 video series that is going to teach you how to tweet like a boss. Now, it's about 12 hours for me after you saw the first video. I'm not sure how many hours for you, probably a full day. Hopefully not a lot longer than that, because I want you to get going on this and see some production in your life, some expansion of your efforts, so to speak. So let's get right into this. You may remember when we left off, the link list that is in your package was this big. Well, now it's this big. Yeah, a lot of stuff. But don't get nervous. This is all easy stuff, and you're going to follow right along. So here we are back at day 2. And this is going to be a nice little guide for you guys so that you don't have to keep hearing my voice. But after you've watched the videos, you can just refer to this list probably and just kind of provoke those thoughts in the memories from the videos and just flow into this. And then you won't have to keep hearing me drone on over and over and over. Because I know for some of you this is going to be a long series, especially if you try to cram it all in a day and then come back and pick it apart video by video as you need to. But anyway, let's get into it. First thing we're going to do is come here and look at your account. Now, like I told you, it's about 12 hours, and you see I have 0 followers. You may be thinking, oh, you failed. That's not the case. If you remember, I didn't choose a lot of people to follow with this account, and the majority of the people I followed were in 2 categories. They were kind of like corporate accounts or big mainstream accounts, and those don't follow you back very quickly, if ever. Many of them don't follow back any of their followers. And the second group was activists, and I chose that just because I am an activist, and I needed to show you how to type in a keyword and search for those people. So activists really aren't going to click with marketing accounts on Twitter. So this is the explanation. By now you probably have much better results than I do. And if you don't, again, it's only been 1 day for you, so don't get stressed out. But I can almost guarantee that many of you will have at least 30% of the followers that you followed the first day. Okay, so now we're going to get into this, and let me get rid of this first so that doesn't keep popping up on us here. And what's the next thing we're going to do? We're going to answer any @ replies. And those are right here. And now the way Twitter does it, I will be referring to these as replies. These are also people that favorite one of your tweets, that follow you, and any other notification. If they retweeted you, mentioned your name, all those things will show up here. And you can take it, select between all Twitters or just the people you follow. And I suggest all, because some people may reach out to you and not decide to follow you unless you respond. So you don't want to miss those people either. Okay, easy enough, right? With me so far. Now, the next thing we're going to do, oh, we skipped over something. Let's go play for a minute, shall we? Back here at number 1, I wanted to bring you into the settings quickly because there's some things that you may want to change about your account, such as automated notifications to your email. And if you don't turn these off, you are going to get, especially once you get your account up to the 500 or 1,000 follower a day, you're going to see a lot more emails coming in. And then when you break out into that 3,000 to 4,000 range and you crank up your efforts, and we'll talk about these levels near the end of the video, so don't let that overwhelm you. You don't know about that yet. But in some time you're going to see a flood of emails. And even though I recommended that you set up an independent email and this shouldn't bother your daily stuff, you may just want to turn this off so that if you do use that email, that it doesn't bother you. And you can do that simply down here. I think you can turn off all notifications as 1, if I remember right. I think so. But again, they change this stuff all the time. So why don't we just do this? You don't want anybody to email you ever for any of it. If you do, hang on to it. Maybe some of you like to check your email first and see, you know, what's going on before you log into Twitter. I don't do that. I just jump in there, and if I need to know about it, I'm going to, and it saves all that spam and crap from coming in. So we'll save that. Now I won't get any notifications at all for them. Okay, now let's go over here into the design for a minute, just so you can see this. Now you can pick a pre-made background. They have a few here, as you see, or you can change your background, and I'm going to do that now. We're going to remove that, and let me see. Okay, we're going to go in here, and we're going to go to the folder that all this stuff is in. Excuse my little mess here. And where are we? Gotta find myself. I have too much stuff on this little computer, I think, but we will get there. Don't worry about that. Plus, with the video stuff going on with the computer, it acts a little slow sometimes. So we should be right here. I don't know why. Okay, here we are. Sorry about that, folks. Wanted this to be as smooth as possible for you. Okay, so I have a Twitter theme banner, and that's going to be in your package too, along with the Tweet Like a Boss logo, because some of you at the end of this are going to see that this is really even more than you thought you were going to get, and you're going to decide to refer your friends, and you're actually going to make some money back from this. And again, we'll go through all of that near the end of the video, but that's right, this will have an affiliate option. And so as you're going through this, if you think it's something you want to recommend, you're going to actually profit $8 from every sale of this if you decide to become an affiliate. And you just share the link, and if somebody buys the product, then you get $8 out of that 20. Yeah, so this is pretty exciting for me, because I can not only do this to help you grow yourself, but you could make 3 sales and actually turn a profit just from buying this. So, you know, some of you aren't in it for the profit, but for those of you that are, or that you have a website or a blog, why not put the banner and the link to this program on your site? Help me expand my efforts, make some money on the deal, and it's going to be one of those things where you put 2 minutes worth of effort in, and it's going to keep paying you once you've set up your social network and people continually click that banner and you continually generate sales. And yes, it's going to you know, benefit me as well, but if we can help each other, we'll all do a little better, and that's really a big part of also why I'm doing this. So anyway, let's get on with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tile the background, and then we're going to save it. And you can do some other stuff here, you know, and play around with that a little bit, and that should pop up. Okay, and that's in the background. And you know, maybe I'll change that later. And there is something else on your profile, and that's what really this banner was made for. This is for your header. You can put a photo, and that's really what I intended this to be for. But you can see how that's going to look. Okay, and then you're also going to want to do this, and this is really important, especially to help you know, expand your efforts. You're going to want to fill in all this stuff, as much as you feel comfortable with. Your location, if you want to. Some people put silly things like planet Earth. That's what I do. Your website, and once I'm done with this series and it is set up on my website, there'll be a link to that sale page here. Go ahead and describe yourself. Now, I do not recommend connecting your Facebook and your Twitter together so that they both post. If you post on one, it posts to the other. They are two very different animals, and you should be much more aggressive on Twitter with many more posts. Facebook is a slower animal, and again, we're not going to do a lot about Facebook, but when it is relative to what you're doing, I will give you the idea. Now, it's up to you. Some people like to do that, but I think if you post as much to Facebook as you should be posting to Twitter, the people on Facebook are going to look at you like a spam or scammer and a pain in the neck, and they're going to stop looking at what you post. Twitter is real time. Poof, it disappears. so to speak. It doesn't disappear, but it's different, and so that's what I found is better. So anyway, let's go ahead and save this, and then we'll go take a look at what that looks like. So play around with all this stuff, and again, your mobile stuff, this is where you're going to set your phone number and activate your phone. Again, I don't do any of the smartphone stuff, so I'm not going to be any big help, but if you get in a jam, I will do research and find the answer for you. So anyway, okay, and so you have that, different apps, widgets. If you have a website and you want to put a widget of your Twitter account on your website so that when people are there, they see what you're posting, you can go ahead and do some of that kind of stuff right here. So those are all built into Twitter, and you create one from that, and they'll give you some options. So you may want to take advantage of that too. But let's go see what that. Now you can see this looks a little crazy because I have the same thing here as I have here. But basically, your bio would show up here if we had filled that in, and a link to your website would be here as well. And this is a nice way. Leveraging your hashtags. You're going to want to learn to really leverage your hashtags. A hashtag is, the number sign in front of a word. It makes it a searchable link. So if you use a word that is a trending topic, people will go look for that and click that link and see more. So learn how to leverage those, and you can get some more information just by watching me through my YouTubes and stuff. When we come up to Twitter storms and other things like that, it's something you're going to want to get into, but I think that's way out there for this video series. And if you want to know more about it, actually just get a hold of me and I'll fully explain the hashtag thing. But I'm just going to tell you to, when you're thinking of it, learn how to manipulate hashtags and go slowly with it so that you don't get censored, because Twitter will censor you actually for hashtag abuse. Sounds obnoxious, but let's get back into the basics here so we can get you through this second video in a quick amount of time. Okay, so we've looked, we've played with our settings. You know how to get in there and function that and make some changes so that it appeals to you. We already answered any @replies, and I didn't have any, but if you did, reply to those people. Now, this is the bold step. This is where some of you are going to say, oh, I don't know if I can do that. It's just the click of a mouse, and nobody's going to hurt you for doing this. You've got to get in there, and you've got to talk to people. So let's go start a conversation or two. And you notice that I put in the notes for you, it is also good to mildly rebut as well. You don't go out there to start agreeing with people thinking you're going to make friends. Be yourself and stand your ground, and if you see a tweet that opposes your thoughts, start a conversation based on that opposition. That's fine to do, and you'll actually generate some great connections from doing it. So let's go into home, or your stream as I like to call it, and we'll look down here and see if we see anything that we can respond to that clicks with us. And you don't have to spend a lot of time with this, but if you could spend a minute or two and scroll down through your stream, and you'll see I don't have a lot to choose from. You will have more because you've followed accounts that you're interested in and that you want to connect with. So, and here's one: retweet if you're more motivated than ever to keep our families, children, and communities safe from gun violence. Sure, I'll retweet that. They will get a notification that I did, and we will do this. Our coming video series will help your efforts. Okay? And now they may disregard you because they think you're a spam account and you're trying to set them up. I mean, you've got to remember that you're on Twitter, you're in the world, and these are all people, although many of them may be created accounts just for business and they have no or very little human interaction, for the most part we have to come from the point of view that they're all people, and they want to know about us, otherwise they wouldn't be here, and they want us to look at their information and respond and react in a respectful manner, just like we would if we were walking to the post office and we saw another person. We would say, good day, or how's the weather, what do you think about this weather, or whatever. We start conversations with people, and this is no different. And that's why I love Twitter so much. I just fell in love with it from the very, very beginning. And at the end of this, we're going to show off some links, and I'm going to brag about myself and show you some statistics in the very last video. We're just going to have a fun video and give you a bunch of extra information that you can use as you see fit. But the first three are just going to put you on solid ground, charging like a bull through the tweet stream and accomplishing your goals. So let's get moving along. I'm going to try to make this video a little bit shorter than the last one, and I think we're just about to do that. Okay, so we've rebutted, we've talked to people, we've done those things, and you can do that for as long as you want, but I would like to see you, every time you come to Twitter, at least approach one person. Start at least one conversation and make sure that you get back to the people that have reached out to you. Okay, so here we are. It's time to grow. Now you'll see you have a few links here. This is the one that I use and recommend. This is, to be effective, is a paid service. The free option will allow you like 50 follows and 50 unfollows every 24 hours. But you're going to need more than that. So I take the one of the paid options, and I think it costs $10 a year, and it's been almost a full year, so maybe it went up a little bit. But for what you're going to accomplish, I recommend this. I'm not going to make any money if you do buy into this, but I'm just going to recommend that you do. So I'm going to go over here and show you just unfollow. Now, remember I showed you Twello the other day. If you're not in the position to be spending any money and you really want to, bulk up, use the free 50 and 50 follow and unfollow deal from Just Unfollow, and so you can secure that account, and then maybe later on upgrade once you see if it suits you or not. That's probably the wisest decision from right now. And then use Twello. These other two will help you with following and unfollowing. They have similar features to Just Unfollow and Twello, but I just don't like them as much. The Twitter Karma one is just kind of awkward, I think, and so I don't use it. I have used it before, and it does work, and it's not software you have to download, so that's kind of nice. And then there's Refollow, but I want to give you a strong warning about Refollow. I stopped using it because it was too aggressive, or it allowed me to be too aggressive, I should say, and it got me blocked on Twitter for aggressive following tactics. Yeah, and this was probably about 50,000 followers ago. So luckily I learned it early before I discredited my account. And if you do that, if you get a little too aggressive and Twitter suspends you, the first time around, it's just going to be a matter of you responding to them, acknowledging their complaint against you, and promising to not do it again. And that's going to be a big wake-up call for you to just slow it down a little. It's not going to hurt you unless you continue to repeat those behaviors. Then they will remove your account. So please, if you get that little slap on the wrist, don't go back to the cookie jar, because you'll be gone out the kitchen. That's the deal. So, but let's show you Just Unfollow. I want to show you that quickly. And the other two, the Twitter Karma and whatnot, you can go check those out if you feel that you want to. I really like the Just Unfollow account. And I'm not going to add this to my regular account that I have. I'm going to just show you the free option. And then if I decide to grow this account, I can always add it later. I do have a paid version. So let's see here. We are, I almost forgot where I was. Tweet like a boss at, oopsie. and momentarily we'll be in. Just sure, let them do any free services they want. It's only going to help. This is really an awesome application, and actually since I paid it, they have done some upgrades too. Okay, there are a lot of things you can do with this. Once you get going, this is going to be your biggest and quickest way to grow followers. Now, for right now, you're not going to unfollow anybody. You're going to just keep following people for the next several days, probably at a guesstimate 5 days. It may be a little more for some of you. It may be a day less for some of you, depending on exactly how many people you follow and how many follow you back. You're going to keep following about 100 to 200 people a day, as Twitter will allow you, and don't worry if they stop you from following more people on a day. It's not a punishment. They just will slow you down, but they won't suspend you for, trying to follow more people. They'll just stop you from doing it unless you're using software, and then they will just stop you dead in your tracks and then give you the slap on the wrist. So anyway, I want to show you the copy follow. Now, at some point you're going to be using this to unfollow, but for the next several days, again, until you reach a point where Twitter says that the ratio between how many people you're following and how many are following you back is too off kilter. They'll only let you go so far, and then they're going to tell you that you either have to wait. That's when you want to unfollow people. But there are two levels of that. One is a daily rate, if you follow too many people in a day, and then there's an overall rate where you're just going to have to flush your account, and that's going to be in about 5 days. And again, give or take a day, depending on if you're doing this every day or if you're only coming to Twitter every couple of days or something. So it will be a little different, but about 5 interactions, 5 repetitions of the following 100 to 200 people a day, and you should be ready to do your first flush. But I want to show you the copy follower option, because this is going to be your easiest, quickest way to follow people if you're like me and you just want to get in front of more people and you don't really care who they are. You can also use this to follow the followers of certain individuals if you really like somebody and you want to connect with all their people. This is a good way to do that as well. But we're just, for an example, we're going to take activists, and now get your cursor on this button and just start clicking your finger and watch your follows go. Now, there is still software that will do this automatically. Okay, see, I've hit my daily limit. If I tweet them, I can go up to 50 a day, and that's easy enough. I'm cleaning up my Twitter. Just give them a promo. We're all here to work together. So 25 follows without a tweet, and then you can go up to 50 follows with that tweet. So there you go. And you see, sometimes you'll get come back tomorrow or upgrade. But do you see how quick we just followed those 50 people? I mean, that was great, only takes a few minutes. So you could do your 50 here, and then you could go over to Twello, and that's the other one that I showed you in the first video. I really like that one. Or go check out one of these. But again, just be real careful of the refollow. And again, Twitter Karma, I think, is a little clumsy. So, okay. So, boy, wow. We're really cranking now. You're doing okay. And it's time to show you a Twitter management tool. Because as you get into this, you're going to want to use a Twitter management tool. And this is the Twitter management tool that I use. It's not software that you have to download. It's web-based. That's one key factor. I don't like to download any software onto my computer. It just bogs things down, and you don't know if it's going to bring you a virus because you're downloading a file. So this is a much safer way to accomplish the same thing, and I like Gremlin. There are other ones out there, but let's go to Gremlin and show you what that's all about. And this is a really awesome app, and you can see the pricing here. Let's just go through that. You get a okay, they changed this a little bit. You used to have the basic account, okay, and it still does. So you can try it free on all paid accounts. So all the big paid accounts you can try for free, or you can jump in there. In this, if you're just one person, one user, 5 social profiles, and you're going to be able to access your Facebook from here if you have a Facebook fan page, and I believe LinkedIn as well. But you can at least do your Twitter, and you could create 5 Twitter profiles and for free manage them right here. So I'm going to go ahead, you know what, and I think for the sake of the video I'm going to not fill that all out because I will be adding that account to my regular account. So bear with me as I sign out of this account and I log into my regular account, and then we will be able to do this and just jump right in there, log in with Twitter. Once you're all set up, you'll come to a page like this instead. And remember, do not use any application that makes you put your password into their website. Use this, only this style of authorization system from Twitter. You don't want to use anything else. I assure you, you will pay dearly for that mistake. So I hope you've got that locked away. You should not ever be entering your Twitter password on any website that connects to Twitter and does some service for you, and it happens quite a bit. So as soon as this silly slow computer catches up to itself, we will be logged in, and here you are. And I changed my Facebook password, so I have to reauthorize that real quick here. And this is a wonderful little tool. I have been using Gremlin for almost 2 years now, and I really love it because it's, again, it's not a burden on your computer. Very few glitches. Sometimes you will get, if you try to post a message and you know the site's really overburdened, you'll get a little picture that says we have gremlins, and you just try again in a minute, and then you're okay. So there we go. Authorize that, and you can see I have a couple of Twitter accounts. My main Twitter account, because of hashtag abuse, does not reach any of the hash searches. I don't show up. They censor me. So I have a secondary account that I use, and I don't really even grow that account. That is there with 3,000 or 4,000 followers, and that is just for the purpose of being able to still get my message into the searches. So here's my regular account. You can see I have my Facebook, my alternate Twitter account, and you just switch between these panels, and this is real easy to set up. I have my Facebook fan page here for my radio shows, and another project that I have, another account here on Twitter. So here you go. And this is going to be really neat because you remember that I told you I wanted to try to give you some stuff to make this fun. And I recommended you post pictures. And I also showed you how to use the Twit Longer for longer posts. With Gremlin, you can do all of that from right here. You can shorten links from here. I showed you Bitly yesterday, but this is why I like this tool so much. You can do so much from it right here. So let's put a post up, and actually this is we're going to go to my regular account, but that's okay. Whoops. Sometimes I can't spell well, and I have a problem, and I worked in debt collecting for a time and did very well with it, but I always have a problem with talking and typing, and so I have to accommodate by talking fast, pause, type fast, pause, talk fast, pause. So forgive me if I'm throwing you off, but that's why I also included the link and reference list so that you guys can kind of backtrack. If you miss anything, you can look at the notes, and again, you always have the option to reach out to me. And so we're just going to put that, I'm going to post that to 2 of my accounts, and then I'm going to add a file. And you can add any kind of file. I mean, if you wanted to send a document, video, and I'm not quite sure how big of a file you can place on here. I've only used it for pictures actually, so you may want to play with that a little bit, you know, and find some new stuff to do. But for the meantime, let's do, we have a photo here somewhere. I think it's in here. Actually, we don't want to do that. I just tried to add, we're going to cancel that, folks, because I just tried to add a zip file instead of a picture. So I'm going to refresh the page here. And for some reason lately, and I think it's my Firefox browser actually, and not the app, because it works great in Google Chrome, but here we go, working. And we've already selected our account. We're going to add that file, but I'm going to go get it from a different place than I thought I could have it. And right here. Okay, so there's our picture. That's what that's going to do is place this and the picture on Twitter. Now, if this were longer than 140 characters, and we won't show you that because I don't want to make a mess of this tweet, but you could go ahead and you see the counter up here, and you can link your LinkedIn, and you see how many characters you have left to post on Facebook. So you can post 4,000 characters to Facebook, 600 to LinkedIn, and you know your 140 to Twitter. If you go over the 140, you're going to get a message from them, and they're going to shorten the sentence. They'll give the first portion of it, and then they'll give a link where people can click and actually go read that whole tweet, just like the tweet longer. Now, this is the other great thing, and this is what's going to make your Twitter so efficient, and I really highly recommend Gremlin. There are some other tools, again, that you can use to auto post, but this is the one I like, and if you don't like it for your own personal reasons, then just Google it up. There are many other options out there, and once you get into this, you'll probably run across them accidentally anyway. So you have the option to send it now, a one-time post, or you can click reoccurring. So I'm going to do that just to show you. It'll open up the other options. You set the day and the time for it to start, in your time zone, of course. Do you want it to reoccur every day, once a week, once a month, once a year? Okay. You could also choose once every 3 days, or how many ever days you want to space this out. And sometimes it's good, if you're using a lot of links, that you stagger those tweets and only have them going out once every couple days, so that if somebody comes to your profile page, they don't see you just putting out the same 5 tweets over and over all day long, and then they'll know that you're automated. You want to avoid that at all costs. So when you automate your posts, make sure that you have at least 20 automated posts, or a combination of at least 20 tweets. They can be all automated, and hopefully some personal ones in there too, but you want to go at least 20, so that when somebody comes to your page, and generally they're only going to scan the first page of your tweets, they don't see any duplicate tweets. People will scan profiles and look for specifically that. If they see that you're posting the same tweet more than once within that page, they're going to know that you're automated, and your chances of them following you drop by at least 50% automatically. So, and then you choose no end date. This can go on forever and ever and ever. Or you can choose an end date. If whatever you're posting is time sensitive, you can do it by occurrence or end it by a certain date. Again, if you have an event and you want that event tweeted every day and it's on the 7th, you can stop it by the 7th. So that's the thing. But we're just going to send this now. and it's going to be as easy as that. That has posted, and I can show you over here, right there, working on the video series. It'll give them a link that will open up in another window, and then they will see that picture. And this is also another reason that I like this tool, especially if you're using multiple Twitter accounts. The retweet option from all your accounts. So you can really expand yourself by using yourself all over the place. Now we'll go over here and I'll show you. And I probably will have to refresh this, but you can see these are my tweets. This account tweeted it, and here's where it retweeted me. So, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, it's great. And I don't recommend you do that back to back like I just did on your multiple accounts, but it's nice if you have these automated tweets going out and then you come in from an alternate account at a different point of the day and you retweet your other account and mix it up so you're not, just posting a bunch of stuff from the same account, because again, that will tip people off to your automated. And people on Twitter really don't like automated people, even though everybody knows that everybody is automated. Okay, so some of the other management tools that you might like to use, I have used both of these in the past, and at that time I liked them, but TweetDeck, back when I used it, and it's been probably 3 years, was a burden, and it just was cumbersome and noisy, a bunch of bells and whistles you got to shut off, and so it wasn't my thing. It did work pretty well, and I know other people like it, but that is something you could look into. And then the one that I did like also that's similar to TweetDeck was Seismic, which has recently been taken over by Hootsuite, and that's another reliable Twitter management tool that you can go and check out. Okay, well, as you see, here we are. Wrap up and repeat. Wrap up and repeat. We're done for this portion of the second video, and I know it's a lot of information, but I've kept you here actually a little longer than the first video, and I was going to try to shorten things up. But again, I want to be very thorough. I want you to have your money's worth, and I really want you to enjoy this to the point that you're going to recommend this video by the time we're done and make your money back. Why not? So continue these steps for the next 5 to 6 days, like I mentioned earlier, or until you reach the point that Twitter says you have to unfollow some people. If you get a notice like that, scoot to the next video. Have some fun with it in the meantime, and in your spare moments, go look for some other Twitter stuff. Find some stuff that I haven't showed you yet and start playing with it. You're going to learn so much from using Twitter. It's going to be unbelievable for you. So, until you fill your account up and it's time for us to show you how to flush it out, enjoy that, and I'll be back with you as soon as you come back to me. See you soon.